Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. There are some people who are quite upset with me because of a recent video that I posted on my channel and also because of a tweet that I posted sharing a mindset that I have in Dead by Daylight. And in today's video, I just wanted to talk about why these people are upset and why I think it's an incredibly silly reason to be upset. During this match, there was a Nicolas Cage who was the first survivor that I chased. Once I downed this Nicolas Cage and hooked him, he immediately tried to attempt on hook and go next. Now, right off the bat, I already know that there's going to be plenty of you who will say, well, you're playing Skull Merchant. What did you expect? You obviously just want everybody to give up immediately and rage quit. Okay, first of all, this is a viewer build, okay? I don't particularly enjoy playing Skull Merchant, but if my viewers request me to play Skull Merchant, I will play Skull Merchant. And my issue isn't even necessarily that this Nick wanted to go next, it's more so the manner that he wanted to go next, which we're gonna get into. He ended up getting saved by one of his teammates before he could fully die on hook, and his response was to go in a locker and completely AFK, so that there would be crows and noise notifications so that I would hook him and kill him, but instead I left him on the ground for the duration of the match and I hooked him when the match was over, and afterwards he called me pathetic. Throughout the match I explained my reasoning for doing this, that reason being, if someone wants to give up at 5 gens, in my opinion, they should just disconnect and leave their teammates with a bot, at least, who will do gens and get saves. If you're just going to attempt on first hook and completely get yourself out of the game and leave your teammates in a 1v3 situation at 5 gens, I don't agree with that. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's a cop-out. I think it's silly that you can even leave a match that early and not get any sort of penalty and not leave your teammates with a bot. So my philosophy is, if you want to force your teammates to sit through this painful match in a 1v3, you can sit through that entire match as well. If you want to be AFK, that's fine. If you want to keep running in front of me so I down you, that's fine. I'll keep downing you and leaving you there. Or you can just go next by disconnecting. That's totally fine. But you're not just gonna leave for free, at least not when I'm playing killer. So let's take a look at some of the comments I've received on this video. Wow, I have never seen you been that toxic in all these years, Logan. That's my actual name. Chill, my beautiful dude, chill. You will turn into those jerks we dislike so much, and you are much better than that. Skull Merchant is the most boring killer in the game. You know that. Don't use it as a weapon to do evil. You are one of the few good guys left in this game. Also, keeping someone trapped in a match they don't want to be into is also pretty mean, lol. Alright, so I'm using Skull Merchant to do evil, first of all. Second of all, I just want to address the main point here, and that's you're forcing someone to be trapped in a match. No, I'm not. They can leave the match. There's literally an option. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if you want to throw a fit at the beginning of a match, you pause the game, you go to the bottom right corner. There's a leave match option. And then you have two other options. You can either cancel and change your mind, or you can hit leave match, and there you go, you're gone. Just because a survivor doesn't want to deal with a disconnect penalty does not mean that the killer is forcing them to stay in the match. They can leave at any point. Your logic is probably some of the most flawed logic in the game. You're fine with tunneling and slugging for killers. It's fine when a killer tunnels someone out at 5 gens, but it's not fine when a survivor wants to leave the game at 5 gens. You can slug them all you want, but if they choose to AFK until the end of the game, it's not doing anything to help their teammates anyways. You just have a character sitting in the game. Just let them go next. It is wildly goofy to compare a killer tunneling and slugging to a survivor choosing to give up immediately in the game. It's a killer's objective to kill. If a killer decides to tunnel somebody out at 5 gens, yeah, that might be unfortunate for that survivor, but that's the killer's job. And if that helps them get the win, so be it. It's not the survivor's objective to immediately kill themselves on hook and go to the next match. That is the opposite of the survivor's objective. And again, this person says, just let them go next. What do you mean let them? I'm not forcing them to stay in the match. They can go next. There's a leave match button. Who are you, Spook and Jukes, to tell people to take a DC penalty? I'm gonna go on and give up on hook 10 times in a row in honor of this video. Wow. Good for you. Have fun in those 10 matches. And I'm not telling anyone to take a DC penalty. I'm saying if they want to leave the match, that's the route they can go. Because I'm not forced to hook you. I'm not forced to just let you go if I don't want to. Because I feel bad for those teammates. I'm a fucking solo queue warrior. Do you know how many times I have to deal with my teammates giving up immediately? It happens in probably 60 to 70% of my games, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm sure many of you solo queue players would agree that players giving up is an insane problem right now, especially at the beginning of the match. After the survivor's first chase, they will just immediately quit and leave the game on hook, not DC. They will quit on hook and leave you in a 1v3 versus the killer, which is an unwinnable game. It's not very fun. So again, I'm not forcing you to stay in the match. I'm also not forcing you to take a DC penalty. You can just play the match like normal. Or if you don't want the DC penalty, you can just sit in the match AFK. That's fine with me. Either way, you're not forced to be doing anything. You can play the match or you cannot play the match. You can DC or you cannot DC. That's your choice. Dude, you're a huge hypocrite. Why do you slug people that give up, yet chastise other people that do it? Okay, I will ask this person or anybody watching this video, when have I ever chastised anybody for slugging an AFK survivor? It has never happened once. I've never criticized anybody for that. I wouldn't criticize anybody for that. I don't have a problem with that because I do it. So if anybody has an example of me chastising somebody for that, I'd be happy to see it. After I posted this video, I decided to post a tweet as well saying, in my killer games, any survivor who tries to give up immediately and runs at me to get them out of the match is being left on the ground until the match is over or until they bleed out. If you want to quit at 5 gens, hit that leave match button. This tweet made quite a lot of people upset in the replies and the quote retweets. We'll just highlight a couple examples here. Slugging until they bleed out doesn't help because there's still one man down if you're playing normally, unless you decide to be a farming killer every time. This person can literally just watch videos until they're dead. It's 4 minutes versus 5 to 30 minutes, but you do you. Yes, I will do me. I don't have a problem with that person sitting and watching YouTube videos for the 4 minutes that they're on the ground. That's perfectly fine. I would rather they sit there for that 4 minutes than just go next for free and not have any penalty whatsoever, because those 3 teammates regardless are going to have a shitty match in that 1v3, right? It doesn't matter if the person who tried to quit is in the match, AFK, or if they're out of the match. Those 3 players who are left there are still going to have a shitty match no matter what. So I might as well, just leave that person there. So they can sit there and watch YouTube. They can AFK and do whatever they want. That's totally fine. But at least they won't be in another match, rage quitting again, ruining somebody else's game. Weirdo behavior, not gonna lie. Y'all act like we don't have phones or alt tab. You're kind of wasting your own time, to be fair. But you do you. Again, go ahead. Alt tab, sit on your phone, watch YouTube videos. I love this argument because it's like, oh, I can't eat a DC penalty and sit on my phone and watch YouTube videos during that DC penalty. I would much rather do the option, the more selfish option, which is to just leave the match and not leave my teammates with a bot and then go next and not have any penalty. No, that's fine. I'm totally fine with you sitting on the ground or in a locker or wherever you are for 4 minutes watching YouTube videos or whatever you're doing, because at least you're also in this match with those other survivors who are suffering through this match that they can't win and have no chance winning. And I don't know why you're saying it's a waste of my time. How is it a waste of my time to leave you on the ground and continue playing the match? It's actually more of a time waste if I spend time picking you up, carrying you to a hook, and that's much more of a time waste, don't you agree? So if I just down you, leave you in your locker, let you run around and do whatever you're doing in the match, that's not a time waste for me. I'm just ignoring you. I am not even close to the only person who thinks that survivors constantly giving up at 5 gens is ruining the game. And some people have come up with some cool ideas. I saw this one tweet where they suggested that we take all of the crybaby rage quitters and put them in a low priority matchmaking pool and just let them sit there and wait longer for matches because of them quitting constantly. I love that idea. I think it's great. But again, this is happening way too often. Here's another tweet with 7,000 likes where this person says, why do you even press ready up at this point? And you'll see the match just starts, the Blight gets a hit on the Fang, and she just runs right to the hook and says, let me go next, boo-hoo. I'd also like to point this out because I forgot to mention it earlier. It's actually against the rules of the game and reportable to sit and be AFK all match long. So you're saying, oh, why don't you just get them out? They can just sit in there and be, AFK and sit on their phone and watch YouTube. Yeah, that's true. And if they sit AFK the entire match, they can also get reported and get banned. So have fun sitting on your phone. If you don't want to play the game, don't hit the ready up button. Don't even launch the game. And if you do get into a match and you're like, God, I just want to quit immediately, just hit the leave match button. Leave your teammates with a robot who does something, who at least will do gens and get hook saves, and survivors can also save that bot off of hook to get altruism points and heal the bot for altruism. Like, the bot serves a purpose. Bots aren't always the best, obviously, but shit, I'll take the majority of bots any day over these fucking whiny, rage-quitting, like, toddlers who just AFK and kill themselves on hook. I'll take a bot any day, and I'm sure most of you would as well. Anyways, that's my rant for today. If you're somebody who's upset with me because I won't hook somebody who wants to give up at 5 gens, you can go ahead and be mad at me. I don't care. Is it petty for me to do that? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but it's also petty to leave your teammates in a 3v1 at the start of the match, so I don't mind fighting petty with petty for the sake of those other 3 survivors in the match. I'm totally fine, and I'll take the heat from some of you out there who are upset with me for that. But that's my mindset. That's going to be my mindset going forward. Anybody who tries to give up and get saved and wants to throw themselves at me or throw themselves in a locker, I'm not going to hook them. They're going to stay in the match until the match is over. That's my mindset. If you don't like it, I don't care. That's fine. You guys can play your killer games how you want to play them, and I'm going to play them the way I want to play them, because my solo queue heart hurts for those 3 teammates that are just trapped in an unwinnable match. But that's it for this video. Let me know down below if you've been experiencing a lot of survivors giving up and rage quitting and being crybabies lately, because I've sure noticed it in my killer games and my survivor games, like a lot, like way too often. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.